It all began the night Sarah moved into her new home, a crumbling Victorian manor perched on the edge of town. Despite its faded elegance and eerily quiet surroundings, she felt drawn to the house. It was cheap and came with a mysterious history, one that no one in the town dared to discuss. But Sarah didn't care for local legends. She was just happy to have her own space. The first few days passed uneventfully. The house creaked and groaned like any old building, but Sarah chalked it up to settling. At night, however, strange sounds echoed through the halls. Faint whispers, barely audible, would slip through the cracks in the walls, growing louder as the hours ticked by. Sarah dismissed them as her imagination, fueled by loneliness and the eerie atmosphere of the house. One night, unable to sleep, she decided to investigate the source of the whispers. Armed with nothing but a flickering flashlight, she traced the voices to the basement, a place she had avoided since moving in. The air was thick and damp as she descended the creaking stairs, the light barely piercing the suffocating darkness. At the bottom of the stairs stood a door, bolted shut with a rusty padlock. A chill ran down her spine as the whispers grew louder, almost insistent, calling her name now. Her hands trembled as she fiddled with the lock, eventually breaking it open with a nearby crowbar. The door creaked open to reveal an ancient room, untouched by time. In the center of the room was a small, cracked mirror. Its surface was foggy and smeared, yet something about it seemed to pulsate with a malevolent energy. Sarah's flashlight flickered wildly as she approached. The whispers now surrounded her, an endless loop of frantic voices urging her to look into the mirror. Against her better judgment, she leaned in. Her reflection was distorted, her features twisted and wrong. And then her reflection smiled, a wicked, sinister grin that didn't match her own expression. Frozen in terror, Sarah watched as her reflection raised a hand and pointed behind her. The air grew icy. She turned slowly and her blood ran cold. Behind her, emerging from the shadows, was a figure, a gaunt, pale woman in a tattered dress, her eyes hollow and lifeless. The whispers intensified, now screaming in her ears. The woman's mouth twisted into an unnatural grin, and with a rasping voice, she whispered, "You've let me in." Sarah stumbled backward, her heart racing as the woman approached, her decayed fingers stretching toward her. She bolted up the stairs, slamming the basement door behind her. But the whispers didn't stop. They were everywhere now, seeping through the walls, filling every corner of the house. Days passed, but Sarah was never alone again. She could feel the presence watching her, lurking in the shadows, whispering her name at all hours. No matter how hard she tried to escape, she could never outrun the woman from the mirror. One evening, as she stared at her own reflection in the bathroom mirror, her reflection smiled again. This time, she smiled back. The whispers finally stopped. Sarah was no longer alone. She never would be again.